Welcome back to the 12th man. Delighted to have Doc. He's got company with Zach as well. No stranger to the show. We've got Kieran meets Preston as well. Making his debut. Arsenal versus Liverpool. He's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game. He's like a person.
It's madness. Like sometimes out there getting 350 grand a week.
So only one quick start for me. Like Monday, the one Saturday. My opinion is like the game every Well, lads, happy Easterdays. It looks like we're finally getting out of lockdown. The sun is shining outside. I know Doc's looking forward to getting to the Glenfield later on. I don't know what's happening there. Sorry about the delay. We just had a few audio issues, but it was actually screen images. Meets was in darkness. He just got the electric turned back on. But no, look, lads, I want to dedicate this show to Claude, obviously a massive regular on AFTV before he started his own channel. Heart attack during the week. One of the biggest podcasters and media contributors out there when it comes to football. Not even just Arsenal, when it was all teams. He was a very honest podcaster. I watched loads of stuff. So, and as well, news this week about young Caleb. He's gone for a brain operation, I believe. So his dad, Richie's going to be watching. Richie Toland. So best wishes, Richie. I know you got a signed Spurs top on the way. And I hope that really cheers you up before the cup final. But lads, thank God the international break's over. It was a really hard one for our Irish fans. I'm not going to get into it too much. But the Premier League is back. And the headline game this weekend is Arsenal against Liverpool. Doc, start with you since you've been on before. And welcome as well, Zach. But it's 9th versus 7th, Doc. And it's usually a lot higher, these two teams in the table. But who do you think it's a bigger game for?
I think it's equally as big a game for both teams. Like, don't know what's going to happen in terms of top four push or even a push for Europa League, which I wouldn't really want to be on too much. But no, I'm expecting a good opening game because both teams know their main interest now lie in Europe. So usually makes for a good game whenever both teams aren't as apprehensive about getting the result. So I think it'll be a good open game. So hopefully Arsenal get that one.
Yeah, mates. Say they're 9th versus 7th. What do you think both teams are where they are? Liverpool 7th, 5 points off top 4. Liverpool 9th, or Arsenal 9th, 6 points off top 6 at the moment. Why do you think both teams are struggling?
Arsenal still really in a transition period. Like Arteta at the minute, I think he's still trying to find what's right for the team. Liverpool, nobody can really explain what's going on this season. I'm sick of hearing about the backs, the three boys at the back, the centre halves like being out, but there's injuries, but we should be higher up than Jesus. Seven's awful for what we should be. As I say, Arsenal really, Arteta, I can see exactly what he's doing. You can see that if he's given time, next season is a big season to be judging him, and I would expect Arsenal to be climbing up a table next year, along with Alexa United pushing, and obviously Liverpool. I'm just putting this down to the last 4 or 5 years have been brilliant under Klopp. I think it's just a wee roadblock. Just it's a time for a wee bit of rebuilding in the summer, and hopefully push on next year. But as I say too, like both teams' loyalties really lie in Europe this season. And as Doc, I completely agree. Europa League football is one thing I do not want at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's lockdowns lasted that long. I think the last time we'd asked, you knew you'd hear. But I was going to say,
it's Liverpool this season. Hey, it's Liverpool this season. Stressed out.
I was going to say, I read, I think it was Paul Merson's article yesterday on Sky, and he said it was a massive game for Liverpool, not so much for Arsenal, right? But I looked at that and I thought that the fact that both teams, every team has no fans this season, how big is it for both teams to have European football? I know Meets has just said that he doesn't want the Europa League, but Doc, I'm sure you still want Europa League. Europa League's better than no European football at all. So can Arsenal, and both teams are probably in a situation where they probably think their best chances of having a great seasons for Europe. But do you think it's really important, Doc, that both teams can't take their eye off the ball? Because Liverpool don't want to be in the Champions League. Even if they get to the final and they finish sixth in the league, it's all down to that game in the final. Whereas if Arsenal, same Arsenal, if they get the Europa League final, having finished ninth, it's all down to that final. So do you think it's really important that they try and balance it out between now and the end of the season?
100%. The Premier League's always it's your main competition for the big teams at the start of every season. So I can see Arsenal going very strong tomorrow, because we're not playing them Thursday, whereas they're playing on Tuesday. So I think Liverpool, they might rotate a wee bit, but I fancy Arsenal strongly tomorrow night. I can see Aubameyang having a storm tomorrow, because I think that Liverpool defence is there to be got at. They're very vulnerable to back.
We'll get into that there in a minute, right? But Stock makes a good point there about Arsenal going strong. Do you think with Liverpool's injuries at the back, they're not squad this year's been fun? Do you think Klopp hasn't really got much choice? He's going to have to go strong. He can't really rotate players too much.
Well, I can't see him honestly messing with the back too much. These guys need game time to try and create something together. Some sort of partnership, some sort of understanding. So it can't be giving these boys. He's gambling. He has to play them. If one of them picks up an injury, you're snookered for Tuesday night. You know what I mean? But you can't Arsenal's attacking quality. Like I said, Aubameyang. You have to play your best team, I believe, and you want to go on and do a big game on Tuesday night with a bit of momentum as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. I do 100%. I agree with Doc, but I do think there'll be changes. I think you might see the Ox on there. You might see Sakiri. You might see even Origi, you might even see Origi getting played. But Kabak and Matt Phillips is definitely be playing along with Trent and Robbo.
So yeah, you think with this game, there's still 9 games, there's still 8 games to go after this game of the weekend. Arsenal should still be looking at this as they still got you look at Arsenal's fixtures and Liverpool's fixtures, they probably have the best fixtures left of all them teams in the top 8 or 9. Both teams will think if we can get off that one and start, there's a chance we can definitely climb 3 or 4 places. Chelsea are going to be the target for Liverpool, but you look at Leicester as well. They're only a few points ahead of Chelsea, and the fact they've got 5 of their last 9 games are teams that are in the top 6 or 7. And you look what happened to them last season. There's still a chance for a team they put a run of games together and get into that top 4. And the same way Arsenal, I still think Arsenal have a very good chance at top 6, but it'll probably all come down to this game. I think whoever loses it, I think whoever loses, or if it is a draw, I think both teams will have everything in Europe then. I think it's really important for both teams to win the game. That's why I think both teams will go strong. So, Doc, you said, or Kieran thinks that Liverpool might make a few changes. Do you think Arteta's going to go full strength?
I definitely, Gary, full strength. And as I say, like Thursday, there's a decent gap between now and Thursday. And I think another thing as well, it's one thing rotating your squad, but you need to make sure your players are at it. So I think, they have a good performance tomorrow, they get their sharpness, and then prepare for the Europa League on Thursday night. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Doc, I don't know if you've seen it today, but apparently Louise is out. Xhaka was sick this morning. He's probably going to be out, and Saka and Smith Rowe faced fitness tests. So it could be that Arsenal could be missing 3 or 4 top players tomorrow.
I think David Luiz would be a big miss, definitely in the defence. Like I don't think the defence is anywhere near as solid when he's not playing. But I think we have enough probably going forward. I'd like to see Pepe get a start. He's not been overused this season, so surely he's got a bit to offer against Liverpool's defence, definitely.
Mates Owen Kelly here, Liverpool fan, just put in. He thinks that Fabinho might be put at the back tomorrow night, and then somebody else might play in midfield. How do you think you're going to see that again, or do you think Fabinho will be playing in that midfield between now and the end of the season?
No, well, each their own, but no, his best places in midfield. He sits in front of him too. He protects him. You know what I mean? It takes pressure off him. I just believe he's going to play in the middle on the Champions League on Tuesday night. There's no point playing him out of position tomorrow night. Just get him on there, give him a run of games back in his position, because he's played out of position for the whole season. And as I keep saying, these 2 boys at the back, Kabak is only there. He's only played a handful of games. Phillips has been in and out all season. And they need game time, regardless of who the opposition is. These 2 must play together from now to the end of the season. Obviously injuries, if they stay free injuries, it has to be your centre partnership at the back. Has to be.
One of the big things I looked at with these 2 teams are the managers, right? And I thought that when it comes to the 2 managers, right, Doc, who do you think's under more pressure this season? Who do you think's under more pressure?
Klopp, maybe. I think Arsenal's going to give Arteta time, but I think there's option.
And Klopp, that's a funny one because there's not too many managers you think would be under more pressure than Klopp. But I think Arteta is definitely going to give next season no matter what. I'm not sure if Klopp, if they finish poorly, will get that opportunity. I just have a feeling we'll get the meet. I'll give you a chance to talk in a minute. But how do you see that, Doc?
I don't think they would sack Klopp. I think the only way Klopp might leave Liverpool at the end of the season is if he takes a sabbatical, which he's mentioned they might do before. Just a couple of years away from football. Maybe he's mentioned it before, and I think that could open up a door for Steven Gerrard to come on. I think that's a possibility.
It's not even just the board. It's the fans. I think at the minute when I'm on Twitter, a lot of Liverpool fans seem to be on Klopp's back more than Arsenal fans are on Arteta's back. So what do you put that down, Doc?
A circus page you must be on, lad. That's a clown speaking there.
Aye, no,
Meets
is right. I think what Klopp's done at Liverpool is extraordinary. What he's done, so I don't think there'd be any pressure on Klopp at all. And I think they made a big mistake not strengthening their squad last summer, no resting on their laurels a bit, because I think you look at Man City and they have 2 players for every position. Liverpool don't really have 2 world-class players for every position, and Liverpool don't have that luxury, and it's told this season we City walking away with a league and Liverpool struggling big time.
Yeah, mates, as I said, I've seen fans on Twitter, fans on Facebook, of both sides, both backing Klopp, some going against Klopp. What do you think that, last year Klopp delivered that Premier League title, 30 years, Champions League the year before, so close that season, they won the league as well. So he's had such a good run at it. What do you think it's that some fans have lost faith after the first really rocky road?
Lockdown's probably got them, Gareth, to be honest with you. I just can't understand why anybody would lose faith in the man. He's brought us our best spell of football the last 5 years since Gerard Hiller in 2001 when we won when we got the treble with the cups, and it's the best run of football we've had. Beating the Champions League final, they go back and won it the following year. Then they go on and won a Premier League title for the first time in 30 years. It's absolutely ridiculous in my eyes that anybody questions what's happening with him at the club. He stays in my eyes. I said it last week when you were talking to Mark. He's unsackable in my eyes. He's just a complete unsackable manager. He's just brought nothing but happiness, glory to our club. And as I say, he needs to be back now in the transfer market. I think off the back of the likes of the Champions League, Origi get kept on because of what he done in the final, and stuff like that. Them kind of players, who played a bit part that season.
I think Callum's just said short memories in football these days, and that's 100%. But I do think as well, that is one thing that I thought that he's probably had too much loyalty to some of them players you talked about.
That's why sorry, Gar, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Not just like Origi and like boys like maybe Shaqiri that have been there quite a bit, and they've never really been. You're looking for, like Doc talked about, like world class players to come on. If you almost think tomorrow if you play Shaqiri and Origi in that front three, you're seriously weakening it. Whereas Man City can rotate Jesus instead. You know what I mean? They've got that ability in their squad. Liverpool probably don't have that. I think it's probably been down to loyalty from Klopp. He's kept the likes of Shaqiri and Origi, for example, in that forward line. Origi, again, short memories. He was part of that Barcelona third round. He scored in the Champions League final. But there is a time in football for everyone to move on. And I do think last summer Liverpool did miss that opportunity, meets not moving on the likes of players like him.
Well, that's what it is. I do believe it's a loyalty thing with him. Origi was linked, I think it was with Aston Villa for 20 million and maybe Palace as well, something like that. And, I think Klopp kind of put the arm around him and says, stay with us, stay with us. But I think it is because of the success that they brought to the club together. He was trying to keep them together rather than shaking it up. He's had 5 seasons now building what he's built. And I just believe now, transfer market, this thing, and he has to get rid of them. Like Ox too, remember, he picked up an injury in the quarterfinals at Champions League, and I think he missed the rest of that season. So I think he kind of wanted to give him another run at it as well. So I do think that it's a loyalty thing with him, which isn't a bad thing. He's showing faith in his players. But I do believe, everybody says every 3-4 years you should be rebuilding again and again.
Ferguson, as mates growing up, Ferguson was a master at doing it, whether we like it or not. He was brilliant at it. Dean, great comment here. Klopp was unsackable. Man brought the big trophies back to Anfield. FSG haven't backed him and are now paying the price. FSG need to back him in the summer. And Doc, this is one thing I looked at with the two teams that is very similar. If you go through the way they operate, they're both owned by American owners who it's obvious to everyone that their passion is American football. They own American football clubs. That's where they spend all their money. They're almost like they use their clubs in England, like Liverpool and Arsenal. They make money and pump it out in our club. So, do you think that Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans are probably experiencing similar things where they think that the board's probably the biggest issue that's holding us back because they believe in the two managers? Do you think if Arteta was back properly and Klopp was back properly, you would see the two perfect men for the job?
Money runs football these days, guy. So I think all you have to do is look at Man City and look at Chelsea and stuff like that. Like they've more or less bought their way to the league titles. So I think obviously
we've talked about that before, Doc, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing anymore. Everyone used to talk about it years ago.
Not a bad thing, but
they bought the league. But
it's true.
But you see me, Klopp, right? He won that league with Liverpool doing it the right way, as you say, having to sell players, to buy players. But it's very hard to do now. That's a one-off. You've seen it with Leicester. Generally speaking, the teams that ask Man City fans, all them trophies they've won under Pep, even go back further, Real managers, they aren't thinking about how much money they've spent. And that's just the way it is. As I spoke about it before, from a neutral point of view, if I was a Man City, I would love to have owners like Man City who pump money into a club, who were turned up at every game. Arsenal's. When was the last time Kroenke watched an Arsenal game, for example? You wouldn't want. Do you know what I mean? So, would you like to? Do you still think that Arsenal are going about it the right way, or do you like to see more money into it?
That's the way football is now. Whether I like it or not, I preferred it when it wasn't so money oriented, but because of the massive appeal it has all around the world, it's a business now more than a sport. So you just have to accept it. And I would love a massive billionaire to come on and pump loads of money in the Arsenal if it meant we would have success.
But realistically, with Kroenke, it's not going to happen, and that's the thing. But mates, I think this is a summer thing with FSG at the minute that Liverpool fans are going to find out over the next 12 months. The Klopp's, I think Wenger did it with Kroenke. He papered over a lot of the cracks from the owners. He brought them success with what very little funds they had, and Klopp did that. People talk about buying big money for Van Dijk and Alisson, but that money was generated from player sales. Now Liverpool have got an aging squad. Wijnaldum's leaving for free in the summer. they have to replace these players now. And you look at their squad. Salah's 2 years left in his contract. If he doesn't sign, there's going to be a big decision to make there because he's getting older, and you're not going to get the kind of money that you would have got a few years ago. So, do you think it's now time for FSG to come in and back Klopp with big money, or else you could see a very difficult pathway back to the top?
Aye, 100%. A lot's going to be seen now in the summer with these, and plus this investment that happened there the other day. And I know it's an FSG as a whole, not just Liverpool. The investment is the 500 plus million, whatever it may be, or even more than that. The talk is that Liverpool are going to receive, Klopp's going to receive a lot of backing in the transfer window. I think because we've had so much success the last 3 seasons, we didn't really need to do anything, but teams are starting to find us out a wee bit now. I think that's another factor as well. If you have a go at us and you score early, we find it extremely hard to break teams down after that. We go 1-0 down, it's a whole different ballgame. Like, if we go out and pump 2 or 3 in, the game's over. You know what I mean? The first half hour. But Klopp needs to show a wee bit of know-how. Now in the transfer market, you're going out and we're being linked with these stupid players like Mbappe and stuff like that. Now, we haven't got 200 million to buy Mbappe. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? We would need to sell half a team to get him. So I think you need to be realistic on where we're going and what we're doing. The Wijnaldum thing, I can't understand why they're letting Wijnaldum go. I know he wants a couple of $100,000 a week, but the man's only 30 still. You know what I mean? You still get 2 good years out of him doing what he does. He's the first name in the team sheet every single game.
I don't think
every game. I see in their 30s playing past boys and Chantal Andor. So no reason why he can't do it.
Well, but honestly, I think they need to get their finger out now because there's been so much success. They haven't been questioned, the FSG as a whole. They haven't even been looked at. They haven't been talked about. Nobody really cares. This season, now we see
the fans. He thinks that the fans will make their opinion on this summer. It's make or break for FSG. It could turn toxic if they don't back him. And results, next year don't improve.
Well, this is another thing too, because there's no fans on the ground. Sorry, Gar. Because there's no fans on the ground, fans can't voice their opinions. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure Christmas, Liverpool in January, Liverpool might have been getting booed off a pitch at home after losing 6 in a row. Do you know what I mean? Fans don't take it, like they don't like it, and maybe they're getting away with a lot more because there's no fans on the ground.
We'll get that the minute right about the impact on fans, but let's just say if the fans were on the ground, Doc, right? Do you think the Arsenal fans would be happy with what they've seen this season as a whole from Arsenal? We've seen some great performances in games, some great performances from like 30, 40-minute spells, but on the season as a whole, 9th place, I think it's 11 defeats in the league. Do you think the fans will be happy?
It's not been good enough. Definitely not. But I think that there's been some games where we've been exceptional, and there's been other games where we've been a mile off it. Like so.
That game 2 weeks ago against West Ham was your season summed up in one game.
That's right. I was working if I can must have tell you some drama.
One of the best games I've watched all season, to be fair.
I seen the first half an hour before I went up to work where we were getting tanked. Like, and I was like, Jesus. And then, but no, I watched the highlights and they were brilliant after the first hour show, 20 minutes. Martin Odegaard and fucking Lacazette. Apparently Aubameyang wasn't great again. But there's a new haircut, so I'm expecting big things from him tomorrow. With a brain.
Yeah, I've seen a video of him during the week where he ran past them with 4 players. And I'm not sure the opposition, I know he's playing for internationals, but he looked like he
I've seen that.
Because he hasn't been that all season.
He was like a fucking rocket. I seen that way.
I read this week that if he doesn't change his ways, Arteta's going to look to sell him in the summer. He doesn't think that unless he's going to come up and put in the work that our players are putting in. In his eyes, it's not just about quality; it's about work rate. It's about your principle. He's supposed to be the captain of the club.
Aye, but it's people speaking on his back a lot. But I think it's another thing. Form's temporary and class is permanent, guy. Like. It's not going to last forever now. This bad.
And you think this is a weekend where he gets back to the best? You were saying?
I'm very confident he's going to tear Liverpool apart tomorrow. Like,
mates, just saying there about the fans, the impact of fans, and we'll talk about it a bit more. Fans be missing from games, but let's just say they're in the stadium. Liverpool lose 6 games in a row at home. You know, do you think that's why some fans are turning on Klopp, that they've never seen this before? You know, this is a team that's won the Premier League last year. You know, it's not a team that's, you know, shouldn't be 7th in the league. Just, you know, full stop. Even with the injuries. So do you think that losing 6 games in a row has this? You know, I was speaking to somebody, and he was saying to me, look, he's a massive fan of Klopp, but the board and the fans will not accept losing at home. You know, if that keeps running on towards the end of the season. So that has to change, doesn't it?
100% that has to change. But then again, as we Callum says, short memories. We never lost for 3 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So these things, you know what I mean, they come hand in hand. You have like 3 years we had a defeat at home, and then 6 in a bunch. I speechless. I'd rather be playing away now than playing at home. You know what I mean? We obviously won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and then we went away in the West Ham. We won there, and I thought, right, we're back in.
Wolves away as well recently. So they went to some tough places and got results.
And we get the result. And it's not to say that there shouldn't be a fear factor. How could you possibly have a fear factor playing at home after not losing there for 3 years? It's ridiculous, like. But it's just one of these.
At the minute, they just rely on getting that first goal and there they go. I think it's almost when, even if it's 0-0 at half time, they get nervous or something. There's just something. I think Klopp, I spoke about it before here. Klopp said it before about has press been better on any number 10. But I think as you've seen with them players getting older, how much football they've had, they're crying out for a creative midfielder. You look at Arsenal since Odegaard's come on, they look like a completely different team. Even now, where they're 3-0 down, you know, before Christmas they could never have come back because they wouldn't have been able to create that many chances. No. Just him coming on the team, it's really helped them. Smith Rowe as well. And Doc, do you think that we spoke about it in the Arsenal Spurs podcast? But do you think that
match go again?
2-1 to Arsenal, but do you think that was your first one in 3 years against us? So you were entitled to a few celebrations, I suppose. But
normal.
I mean, it used to be us to celebrate after beating you after a while, but it's already about now. You only get them ones every few years, but we were talking about the fact that you have quite a lot of good young players there. Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard if he signs on a permanent. Even Chambers, I thought he's been a very underrated player. Tierney, he's been excellent this season. Do you think that they're in a better place? You talk about Spurs, even like Liverpool have quite an aging team. Do you think Arsenal's in a good place now to kick on next year with these young players?
Big time. We have a great squad depth compared to even the likes of Liverpool and Spurs and stuff. So I think definitely in a great place to kick on next season, and it's just now about getting the experienced world-class players and amongst the young players in order for us to further progress, like the likes of Partey and we get Odegaard and stuff. And there is a great group. There's big potential, but it's just a matter of getting it to click.
Mates, when I was chatting to you off camera, all you were saying was Tuesday. So we're going to talk about the Champions League now, right? Real Madrid on Tuesday. Obviously, it's a huge game as well as this one. Do you think that that's still your best chance of getting Champions League football next year? Winning that?
Sorry, go and repeat that there. I'm having audio issues now.
Sorry, you're not straightforward. No, I was saying
somebody try to ring me or now, and it's all going pear-shaped.
Oh, it's all going pear-shaped. That's somebody looking at me. I was saying, we were talking off camera, and all you were saying to me was Tuesday. I think you even said the Doc, I'm not that interested. I'm more interested in Tuesday. So, do you think that's still your best chance at Champions League football? Winning that?
100%. I know that we have a couple of tricky games coming up, but 100% I'm banking everything in the Champions League. I couldn't care about the league. As far as I'm concerned, the league's over. I don't think we're capable at the minute of putting a run together to try and push up on there.
Yeah.
Especially if we progress in Europe, the boys' heads are going to be turned one way. Where if you won 4 or 5 games, your Champions League football, where you have to win 9 in the Premier League to get Champions League football. I genuinely think that Real Madrid's in for a tanking on Tuesday night. That's just what I believe, and I think we will go on and win the European Cup this year. I'm convinced of it.
You're confident. Doc, I was just getting Doc doesn't agree, but I was actually thinking about this today. Do you think that the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool, if they go far in Europe, it's going to be very difficult for them to keep producing Premier League results? That these teams, like for example, like a Spurs and a Leicester, where they're out of Europe, are maybe at an advantage when it comes to league form now.
I think Arsenal has a squad they cope with the Europa League and playing in the Premier League. I think it should be okay. Like that's why the big teams have them sort of big squads. They be able to rotate, like, and the boys coming in is normally as good as the boys that's coming out. Like, so hopefully in a way we can get a good run in the end of the season.
When it comes to sorry, 1 second. Mates, I was looking for a pint of what you're drinking. But
typical Spurs, man.
That as well. But
we were talking, yes.
Mates is obviously confident of the Champions League. Are you confident of the Europa League? Doc, do you think that Arsenal can go on and win that?
Aye, and I hope they go with Leeds United in the final, because it could end up being embarrassing for them. Like, I don't think it'll be a tight scoreline.
What do you think, Zach?
No, United's going the whole way, Gary. Hey, we're in the semi-final already. Next round, we're definitely going the whole way.
What do you think of these two teams, the minute, Zach?
Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't get involved in multiple teams like Gary anymore.
But I tell you what, just be careful. You could end up meeting Arsenal in the final. But Kieran's away. But see on the game on Sunday, Doc. How do you see it going? What's your like preview for it? Where's it going to be won and lost? And what's your plan
on Saturday?
So on Saturday, sorry, not Sunday. Sorry.
Where do you think it's going to be won and lost?
Yeah.
I think Liverpool's defence will not be able to handle the forward players, of course not. I think Liverpool may make it, but I think I'm very confident tomorrow. Like, it's five years or so since Liverpool last beat Arsenal at away from home in the Premier League. So, I think it'll continue tomorrow, and they'll have to wait maybe another few years before they get a one at the Emirates. Like.
Mates, what about you? What's your preview for the game? Where's it going to be won and lost? How do you think it's going to go?
Well, as Doc was saying there, our defence, like our two centre halves maybe, is probably the only chance and probably the best chance they'll have is beating us. But genuinely, I don't know. If you ask me tomorrow night when I see the team sheet, I kind of way I would be either more confident or less confident. I just genuinely don't know what he's going to do. If he thinks that maybe making a push in the Premier League is his best foot forward, or actually going all guns for the Champions League, it all depends. And I know everybody's free from injury, bar the usual boys, like, and then Hendo, he's due back in a couple of weeks, but we're basically at full strength with what we have. So
what kind of game do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be crazy, or do you think both teams will go at it?
No, it'll be end to end. I just think it's like last 5 from 7 Arsenal games have something been over 2.5 max goals. You know what I mean? So Arsenal like they go at teams that leave themselves open at the back. We play exactly the same way. So I just think
it'll be a great game for Nicola.
100%. I see loads of goals. I see loads of attacking football, and I think for us tonight, maybe our main aim is if we can score more than them, obviously we'll win the game. I kind of way. But it's Janie. I would need to see a team sheet type before I would be even more confident, because I do expect a lot of changes in the side.
Yeah, Doc. What about you? Do you think it'll be quite attacking? Both teams will go at it.
Where the game will be won and lost is defence, because I think if Louise is out as well, I think we'll definitely be vulnerable at the back. I like Gabriel, but he's defending one-on-one. If you get to Alexis Salah, Mane, what is it, mate?
Gabrielle, she's a good singer.
I don't know who Gabriella Singer is.
No, I'm too old. It's all right. You're
One of your wee guilty pleasures, mate.
I say nothing. Big T has a drum under me. He's loser.
Brilliant, But lads, just before we move on, predictions for the game on something we've talked about it quite a lot. Predictions, Doc. What do you think?
Tomorrow, I go
Saturday. It was meant to be a Sunday and it was moved to Saturday. So it was.
Aye, no, it's Saturday, 8 o'clock's perfect. I'll be getting out of work at 8:15, straight down on the beer here.
Yep.
So I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal, mates.
I'll go 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Do you know what? That's exactly the same scoreline I had. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. Plenty of goals, plenty of attacking. Lads, just on the risk for Europe. Obviously, these are still going to be looking at. But what do you think a top 6 will be at the end of the season, mates? What do you think a top 6 will be?
City, United, Leicester, Chelsea. Exactly probably the way it is now. I'm on it. West Ham, Spurs. I can't see either.
You don't see anybody making a push.
Well, I know Everton have a couple of games in hand, but they seem to fold under pressure every time. You know, they've had games in hand on us. They've had games in hand on us, and they still haven't passed us yet. You know what I mean? So I think it'll stay the way it seems. Maybe, you know, 1 or 2 might fall up, might fall down, but whoever's in the top 6 at the minute, I think it'll stay that way. I think
boys,
Chelsea.
There's always a team that stumbles towards the end, and a team always finishes strong. So there's going to be, I think, at least one team mix.
I think Chelsea have finished the top floor, might even finish 3rd. Your man Tuchel's got them he's got them really organised and playing well. So, no, I mean they're going to be hard to become now at the end of the season. Like,
how do you feel about playing them in the Champions League semi-final? You would assume it's going to be Chelsea if you get through.
That's going to
be a serious challenge.
Score against them, if these ghost goals, we don't have to score against them. We still beat them. You know what I mean?
Garcia. Garcia.
Hey, wipe the floor with him. No problems whatsoever. I'm 100% confident in the Champions League. And your dad's probably thinking many of them errors he had, but I just think it's our competition. You look at the draw. It's in Istanbul. You look at the draw. We've avoided Bayern Munich. We've avoided Man City. Well, we'll get them in the final if we get there, but we've got the easiest route through. So I just believe, like with us and Chelsea in semi-finals, I'm just confident. Real Madrid's not the team they were. I've seen now Ramos is out for the 2 games.
I think if it's Liverpool-Chelsea semi-final, and I think it will be, Liverpool are seriously going to miss the fans. It would have been a game they really could have done with the fans.
I agree, 100%.
But Doc, how do you see the game go? Or we were saying there about Arsenal Europa League final as well. If they get there, you'd be confident, whoever it is.
I'd be confident in winning it.
Yeah.
I would have to be, but after the fucking last Europa League final against Chelsea, it was a crowd shock. It was out in Baku or something, like fucking
crazy. This could be an hour game as well. So they're saying about, I think they're actually trying to get fans on the finals.
You know where it is? The Europa League final.
The Europa League finals in Poland, and they're in lockdown at the moment, so I think that's going to be extremely difficult. I'm not sure on the regulations in Turkey at the moment, but there's just no chance I think.
Was it again?
Do you know what they might do? What they could end up doing is moving these games. If for example, if it was Liverpool Man City final, why not have it at Wembley? They might do something like that, you know, so that fans can get there. Because, you know, I know UEFA don't like changing things, but they'll think about getting fans on, and the best place to get English fans on is in England if it's 2 English teams. And the same if it's Arsenal Man United in the final. What they'll just do is, what they did last year, is they'll give the Champions League final to the country the year after again. Because it was meant to be in Istanbul last year.
Event too for the Euros for Wembley.
But Doc, top 6, how do you see that looking coming in the season?
I go Man City first, maybe United second, Chelsea third, and Arsenal fourth.
Fourth.
Leicester fifth, and West Ham sixth.
West Ham sixth. Lads, before we go, weekend predictions. Starts off tomorrow 12:30. Chelsea West Brom. Doc, how do you see that going?
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Mate, how do you see that one going?
3-0 Chelsea.
3-0 Chelsea. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. I think that puts every team under serious pressure. It's around there because they kick off first and play. You know, Liverpool could go on that game 8 points behind Chelsea. You almost feel you have to win that game. But Emmett's saying Arsenal fourth.
I
have what we're here for, entertainment as well, not just punditry, entertainment as well. But Leeds Sheffield, mates, how do you see that one go?
Home one, maybe 2-0.
2-0. Doc, what does your house think about that game tomorrow? Confident?
By Yorkshire Derby. Don't know. I'll go for 2-1 Leeds as well.
Nice. I think Leeds will steamroll them, coming back fresh after that national break. I think Sheffield are gone. The fact they've got rid of Wilder as well, the team just looks like they couldn't care anymore. 3-0 Leeds, I'm going to go. This is a cracker. 5:30, Leicester, Man City. They warm us up for the Arsenal game. This is big because what if Man City were to beat Leicester? Leicester, all of a sudden, their position is going to look vulnerable. So, how do you see this one going, mates?
Leicester, any new injury worries? No? Vardy and all there?
No, Madison's back as well.
I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Doc?
I'll go 2-1 City.
I think City will have too much. I'm going to go for a 2-1 City as well. Arsenal, Liverpool, we've done. It was 3-1 Liverpool. Doc, you thought, and then we both went 2-2.
No, 3-1 Arsenal.
What's that?
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Southampton, Burnley, Easter Sunday kicks it off 12 o'clock. How do you see that one going, Doc?
0-0.
0-0. Mates?
1-0 Southampton.
I think Southampton will get the one. I'm going to go for 2-1 Southampton. Newcastle against Spurs. Newcastle will probably look at this and think, you know what, this will be a game we can actually attack a team. Spurs will probably sit back and let them come at them. How do you see this one going, Doc?
I'll go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Mates?
I'll go the other way, 2-1 Spurs.
Newcastle's just, there's so much bad atmosphere around them. This will be a game Spurs have to win, so I'm going to go for 2-0. 2-0 Spurs. Aston Villa against Fulham. Doc, 4:30.
2 each.
2 each. Mates?
I am wet, 2 each.
2 each. I'll go. I think Villa will be too strong. Grealish is back as well. I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. Everton Palace Easter Monday. Palace, I think, are on the beach, to be honest, mates. How do you see that one go?
I tend to agree with you there. Probably a 2-0 home fun.
2-0 home one. I'm going to go 2-0 as well. Doc?
2-1.
2-1 Everton.
Yes.
And they funny, or sorry, I must out United Brighton the night before. Sorry, United Brighton. Last week or something. Doc, how do you see United Brighton going?
I go 3-0 Brighton.
3-0 Brighton. Mates, what about you? 4-0.
I'm going to have to go the other way. I think United will stuff them 3-0.
I ain't going to be tighter than a lot of people think. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Quite entertaining. Wolves West Ham, they finish it off. Big game for West Ham as well at the end of the weekend. Everybody else all played. Doc, how do you see that going?
1 each.
1 each. Mates, what about you?
I'm the same, 1 each. I think Wolves.
I think it'll be a draw, but I think it could be quite boring. I'm going to go for 0-0. But lads, thanks very much. Really enjoyed having you on. Kept it nice and short, because I know everybody's looking to enjoy the weather at the back and drink away. I might have to start doing these podcasts outside of the summer. But I don't know how it'll go. But lads, thanks very much. We've got Mr. Danny Bell making his debut all the way from Manchester on Tuesday. Big United fan, big fan of the show. He's going to be coming on. He's very much against Ollie, so it'll be great to hear what he has to say on that. So as I said, boys, keep watching the shows. If you haven't liked, comment, or subscribe, make sure to do so. And I'll catch you again. Thanks very much, lads.
My link, guys.